A batter's physical abilities likely matter more than their speed. Even if you jump up, if you don't pull it off normally, when you think about the world top level in Bantamweight, it's tough to do it at 6 or 15 kilograms, isn't it? What do you think?
Will Horiguchi become a champion?
For me, it's not really fun to have fighters like Horiguchi. There's really no difference between traditional karate fighters. It's not about the level. There's no real difference in level. There are matches overseas, though.
Which country?
Within the country, there's little difference in skill level, so we all compete against each other, resulting in strong, empty-handed fighters. However, some have powerful legs or are difficult to throw or knock down.
Despite varying techniques and skill levels, fighters aim to avoid being knocked down. This has shaped the current fighting structure. For instance, southern fighters have strong, thick legs and hips, compared to similarly skilled fighters from other regions.
Yeah, they're thick.
People say my legs are thick when they're right. I decided to embrace it and make the most of it for the rest of my life.
They're really thick and solid, and my calves are pretty muscular too.
Honestly, that's not really at the level of a barehanded match. I think Manami is even better than me. If it turns into a big barehanded showdown between me and Manami, I feel like it would be just like before. If he throws and punches me, that's already 3 points right there. If he gets 3 points, it's pretty much over.
It feels impossible. As you know.
I believe we try to endure and push ourselves because of our core strength. I recently watched a Kudo karate match for the first time.
Oh, that's right. When you hear about Kudo karate, it doesn't really sound familiar, does it? Sure, Horiguchi-sen.
I had never actually seen it in person before. I wasn't deeply involved with Kyokushin, but found it interesting for interviews. The dojo rules were kind of,
It's hard because I don't really know them.
Does kicking with your foot score a point in volleyball, or are you only allowed to use other body parts like your stomach? If you hit the stomach cleanly, you get 2 points. For the face, you get 3 points.
But a punch is also 3 points.
A punch is 1 point. So a regular punch is 1 point, but those big throwing or kicking techniques are worth 3 points or 2 points. Body punch and blow all refer to the same thing.
Those are also 1 point.
If it doesn't actually hit, it's no good. It has to hit hard. But rather than just stopping the opponent, it feels more like you're stopping them by hitting them on the surface. If you go too far and push too hard, it can end up having the opposite effect. So mastering sparring means getting better at controlling that. Initially, I concentrated on striking swiftly in a manner that my opponent wouldn't detect, so I was very committed to mastering that technique. I got healthier. Yes, that's right. Punches are punches, but they're not the same as punches in martial arts. Well, I think that's probably true, but we were just having fun and enjoying ourselves. We changed the rules to make it a punch for scoring points so we could use the rules more skillfully. I felt like I basically fixed what I was doing wrong. Isn't it different from an accident knockout? It happens frequently, but I don't get knocked out. I go all the way from the first match to the win. And, 7 matches. It's not easy. It's not. Some people might want to fall over 23 times a day doing the earthquake pose. However, if you can stand up and rebuild your pose within 10 seconds, you can keep going. In most cases, if you fall multiple times in a day at a big event, you're out. But if you get up within 10 seconds, you can keep fighting and continue in the tournament. Falling isn't very dangerous, but it usually happens at the same spot or due to lack of defense. So if you get knocked down like that, the person who got knocked down might actually get more attention or concern.
It's tough, yeah, it's really tough.
Landing the first blow in a fight doesn't guarantee victory, as the situation can change rapidly. In martial arts, the outcome isn't always determined by who strikes first. You might get hit right after, making it difficult to predict what will happen next. Isn't it likely that the traditional karate fighters are leaning toward A? While Donore-san and other karate fighters are active in RIZIN, the number of karate-based fighters isn't increasing dramatically. That's the current perception. Just like I started after watching Horiguchi Senshu, I think there are more and more people who want to start after seeing what I'm doing now. Minami and others have told me the same thing. Nomura-san told me that he wants to try grappling in one of my classes, and after I introduced him, he said he wants to start right away. So he joined and started from the very beginning. I think there aren't that many people, though. After graduating from college, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I joined anyway. And when I got there, I realized that the people teaching at the front weren't necessarily all that strong. Though I couldn't stand out this time, I feel that if I persist, I might succeed someday. However, seeing others thrive makes me feel a bit left behind. So if I could go with the flow like that, it would be ideal. I'm aware of that, especially with my karate background. Initially, I wanted to improve my own strength, but later I aimed to stand out. I'd be happy if I can make karate practitioners seem less rigid. Sorry to interrupt your conversation. Is protein okay to drink? I heard that lately. During the time when people drink protein, the closest thing is this. So this is Vitas's blueberry yogurt protein, but I haven't tried it yet. In my opinion, I've tried all the famous brands of protein that are said to be the best in the world, but this one is the tastiest. It tastes like you're drinking juice. So the flavor of the protein is almost completely gone. But Vita's protein is different. This is seriously delicious protein. If you haven't tried it, I highly recommend giving it a shot at least once. My recommendation is blueberry yogurt, but the chocolate or kiwi flavors are also delicious. It's a collaboration between Mr. Valentine and Mr. Collabo. He finds this AA flavor delicious and drinks it after consuming alcohol or a heavy meal as it really helps him out. There are some essential supplements that you need to take all the time. Vitamin C, multivitamins, clear cinnamon, all of them are top quality, so I highly recommend them. For those interested, please get the vitamins from the summary section. I wanted to mention that first. Traditional karate and Kyokushin karate, while originally on the same line, may have diverged due to Kyokushin's emphasis on rules focused on knocking down the opponent. So in karate, you knock down your opponent with a single technique. I wanted to make it important to land the first strike, and I wanted to make it important not to get hit by the opponent. So I wanted to create a feeling where you really value that. That's why I thought it would be better to have rules that match that, like in full contact martial arts.
Yeah.
I believe trying to make it strictly a martial art turns it into a completely different sport. However, the basics and adaptability remain the same, so the current form is best for what it has become. I don't think it's wrong at all. Many fighters, not just top ones like Ueda, have diverse backgrounds and work their way up from various martial arts, including Kyokushin karate. Are there a lot of people who just go for a quick kick? If not, I guess it's hard to close the distance, isn't it? Or maybe they just go for a jab or something. The reaction to the face is just as expected. I threw in a kickboxing move once. That way I can respond to sudden changes more flexibly, so it's more like muscle memory. Did you originally start out small, or were you always in the orthodox style? Or did you get into it because you were inspired by something electric? At first I just wanted to check out the dojo, so I went to take a look. And it didn't really feel like a big event or anything like that. I began at around age 3, so it wasn't a major street tournament or anything like that. I didn't care about winning or losing and would get distracted by hunger during games. Then I began playing volleyball.
So you played volleyball? Was it in middle school volleyball?
Even in the volleyball club, I just wasn't really suited for it at all, and I kept getting yelled at by the seniors, and then I started to really dislike those seniors too. I didn't want to be the team leader, so volleyball wasn't for me. I'm Sugoi Tanaka, and honestly, I'm just not into sports. There weren't many clubs, just baseball, tennis, volleyball, kendo, and table tennis, so there wasn't much to choose from. I thought volleyball might be cute, and the seniors were playing volleyball, so I just ended up joining volleyball without really wanting to. Well, I joined the club casually as it wasn't very competitive. We didn't win the prefectural tournament or advance to the Shikoku tournament. That's how I feel. Ever since I started with electric vehicles.
Is it a volleyball?
I started with electric vehicles, possibly because I quit volleyball in high school, thinking it wasn't for me. Being afraid of being strong, I began from scratch with empty hands.
Well then.
So I started karate and I just kept going with it. Up until then, I hadn't really done anything like that, so I started as a beginner in high school. I ended up getting some results at the national tournament and I was offered a spot at a university. I even got a few offers, so I decided to go to a university that offered me a place.
That's right.
So from there, you went straight from dojo karate to university, eh? I thought I'd just keep doing karate until I graduated, just taking it easy. I thought that even if I started late, as long as I kept at it, I could really grow. So I joined the Self-Defense Forces Physical Education School. Well, that's how it was, but I didn't really talk about it much. For about half a year, I just focused on working hard to make it to the All Japan competition that year, and that's how I got started. But I only managed to place about 5th in all of Japan, so I felt like I was just a stepping stone for the seniors. I thought maybe I should just quit, but even before that, back in college, I was already interested in mixed martial arts, so I thought maybe I should give it a try, and that's how I got started. Was it the Self-Defense Forces? Yes, that's right. It was the Self-Defense Forces. That's how it was. My parents were also worried about me joining the Self-Defense Forces. Is that so? Well, it's not really a big deal, but that explanation is pretty good.
That's what I thought.
But even now, when I think about it, I don't really want to do something as flashy as self-promotion.
Yeah, that's my biggest concern right now.
If I could wake up at this hour and do all this, I'd be a really self-disciplined person.
Right?
Honestly, I don't want to do it. Instead, I want to ask you, why do you want to live that way?
But still.
When I went to Caltech,
Well,
it's not like that at all.
hold on.
I'd like to join the legitimate business group.
That's how I feel.
When I was working in education, the bell rang around 6 or 6:30. I would wake up in a hurry, run downstairs, and rush out.
Line up.
There are times when you think, I don't want to do this anymore, even if it's martial arts training, and it's despite wanting everyone or yourself to go back. It's not always straightforward. I don't really think anything in particular. I wonder if it's more about not being completely indecisive or being able to stick to the decisions I've made. That's what I think is important. When I wasn't aiming for the school ballet, I was just being myself. My own fighting spirit helped me keep going until now. I don't have any regrets. Just like that. During my time in the self-defense force, I sometimes considered raising funds independently. However, after witnessing people discovering unexploded ordnance and seeing things sink, I realized it's not something I can handle alone. My perspective has changed. Although it was only about 6 months, it became a valuable experience for me. At first, it wasn't directly from deep down. Gurachan, it was from Gurachan, I think. I started, and after about half a year, I made my pro debut, then appeared in Gurachan, and 2 months later, I was already fighting in the main event at Patolek. But even though I made my debut in just 8 months, I didn't really feel like I was doing anything special. I just went with the flow and got hit, so I don't really know how it all happened. During the match, I was thinking, is this really okay? Well, but I just kept going. So maybe that experience helped me grow, but even now I still remember it. Yeah, I got hit and thought, is this really happening? But it was what it was. It was just about 3 years ago. No big deal.
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
If you were winning against Gusabo for 3 years straight, that's actually pretty early, isn't it? Still, that's impressive. That's amazing. It's all thanks to the people around me. I think that's really the influence of Professor Kagaguchi's coaching. I'm not sure if anyone is actually watching.
Yeah, really. That's right. In life, being able to encounter something you can be so passionate about is not something that happens often, is it?
I wonder. So, well, now that I think about it, I wonder if I was really heading toward you. The fact that I was able to meet someone I could face like this, is it really just a coincidence? Or was it waiting for me at the crossroads of fate? Well, if I hadn't come back, I probably wouldn't have. Even if people around me said things like, if you had just lived a normal life, things would have been better. I don't really feel that way. It's just the way things turned out. And I think it's because I met A that things are the way they are now. Now, do you think you'll announce that you're going to C? Will you become the champion, C Sugiguchi? How do you feel about it now? It's thanks to Sugiguchi that I was able to come here, so I don't think it has anything to do with me, but I was really surprised.
Yes.
I just thought it was great that I was able to go carrying all sorts of things on my back and making it here. But from here on out, I want to keep going as far as Sugiguchi can, just for my own sake. Up until now, if I didn't have interesting matches, it wouldn't mean anything.
I'm eager to see Sugiguchi's true fighting potential. I want to know how far he can really go when he shows us his full skills.
I want to see him try, and I want to see how far he can go. I think his fun and his desire to win are what made him so strong.
That's how I feel.
And well, that's about it. I think that brand is a group where the strongest in the world gather. So the spokesperson should be someone fitting for that. Well, that was the fighter's decision, and that's how I got started. I think there are a lot of fighters who feel the same way. So I really want to do my best for those people.
That's how I feel.
How does the UFC match make?
That's what I'm talking about.
Asakura Kai is a title contender.
Asakura Kai.
He's suddenly in a title match against Sasuga, a strong fighter, which is not easy.
That's right.
That's right. And he hadn't even faced a ranked opponent yet. He was ranked 11th.
Roshake no Ro.
Sorry, I can't remember the Russian name. I'm sorry, but Sagi... The person who's in the Ru Hababu team.
It's called Toyarute.
That's what it is. There's a rumor, but that's all for now. That's right. But it doesn't really feel like there's been any strong official announcement yet. That's how it seems to me. So they're going to do that with Si Alzamild. It's supposed to be in June, but it's just the structure, only the framework.
Since it's not really concrete, maybe it's not actually true?
That's what I think, but what about you? There's the Gachirizu type and the Deguchi type, and people are wondering which of those types of players would win. I'm simply enjoying myself, that's all. When I was a player like Aguchi, I would always compare myself to other wrestlers in Japan. And no matter who I fought, I would always think, that guy is doing this, that guy is doing that. It's not just about working hard. I want to consider everything and watch with that mindset. Today, all the Japanese people are gathering. Aren't they? I watch it on Rakuten, you know. I watch all the Japanese players. That's Asakura Kai, Hirata Michihiro, and Kanetani. Currently, it's primarily Hirata Michihiro and other elite fighters.
Yeah, he's really strong, isn't he? He's definitely strong.
That's right. Hirata Senshu seemed to hold his own until the end, not just barely surviving, but matching and even outperforming his opponent. Do you think this is due to a serious, determined mindset or his extensive experience with long rallies and many points?
And so on.
Kuchi Senshu's tendency to step in and reach in reverse often leads to him getting taken down or caught in singles.
That's what I think might...
I think there's a clear difference in how deeply we get into it emotionally.
That's right.
I don't consciously separate them, but there's that takedown and punch, and I throw the punch with the same feeling. So I totally think I can do it. Right. I think physical ability is more important than speed for an outfielder, so I don't think it's just about being able to fly or run fast. It's physical, right? I think when it comes to physical speed, it's not just about being able to move quickly with empty hands, but among flyweight class fighters, I think his physical strength stands out the most. That's what I think. I don't really know if I'm that physically strong myself, but I think that's his biggest characteristic, and there probably aren't many people who would disagree with that.
Speed, huh? Speed.
His combination of takedowns, strikes, and mixing things up showcases his high skill level. He could be a world-class bantamweight, but he's doing it at around 143 pounds.
At that point, yeah, that's true, for sure.
It's definitely not normal. He's on a higher level, even compared to top-level bantamweight fighters. He's way above them. While not overwhelmingly strong physically, he wouldn't lose easily at the very top. Even against top bantamweights, he was the one pulling ahead.
Yeah, amazing.
His physical strength. I remember thinking, during the match, there was about a 56-kilo weight difference between us, but he just brushed it off like it was nothing. That really made me realize how amazing he is, at least to me personally.
Hantuja and Roybaru are both
ranked. And Manel Cape is surprisingly close too. That boxing skill is amazing, right? That instantaneous reaction and boxing skill are really impressive. I feel like I'm mixing it up in my own way, but there are some really strong fighters out there, and I think this guy has a unique style. But Manel Cape seems to be the closest, so I'm keeping an eye on him. When you think of Manel Cape, you want to say he has this kind of style, but it hasn't really been established yet. I don't think he's the type of fighter who can be broken easily. That's what I think. Many Japanese people are gathering around Takusan. Manel Cape is the first to win the flyweight division belt.
It's amazing that he's the one to take it. It's really amazing.
Honestly, that scenario is already on my mind.
That's right. Maybe
sex is totally natural, you know, it's just normal. Despite riding in first class, I don't feel like I'm enjoying it fully. Indeed, Hibimoto isn't very lucky.
it's definitely a match.
It's been decided. You're a 10-time champion, something the previous generation never achieved. Your championship.
None are players. He's not bad, just being honest.
That's right. It's 12 times now. There have been times when Manel Cape was confirmed as the fighter, but then the match was cancelled after being scheduled several times. There have been real matches and also ones that didn't happen. But after he transferred to A, about 3 years ago, it was during that period. 10 out of 17 scheduled matches were cancelled.
And then
7 times. I don't know if it's just reality or if I'm just unlucky.
yes.
I don't think so. I feel like if I keep at it, my chance will come.
Well, just a little bit.
That's how it is. It could be Tsuri, Are, Harada, Michio, or one of those 4 people from this morning.
I don't really know about that.
No, I absolutely won't do it. Seriously, it's dangerous. You know, it's not safe, really. It's not safe. When I play Raijin, I definitely feel like I'm playing much more aggressively than usual. You know, it's a completely different level. Well, maybe it's because I'm using Pantheon or Jarvan, so putting those aside, even among the ranked picks, this one feels especially risky.
Definitely. It's Manel Cape.
Yeah, Manel Cape doesn't really feel like a joker. He's just scary, and I feel like he's steadily rising up. Watching his matches is interesting, and as a fighter, he really stands out. In the end, I think it always comes down to Manel Cape's matches.
That's the impression I get. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Even if it's a close fight, he still wins.
Yeah, he was.
Losing is a scary thought. I wonder what that player is thinking. Van Liere was a strong player, right? That's precisely why I did it this time. It didn't really feel like I was fighting a stablemate, but rather I couldn't really trade blows or strike as freely as I wanted with someone as strong as him. I just couldn't take it lightly, you know? That's how it was. No, that's what Ishane-san, I thought. Like, if I can beat someone like Tsuaya who's been coming up, it would be a real success story. But then I realized there are fighters who can do everything, and on the contrary, there are those who can turn things around with their striking. That's the feeling I get. But Asakura Kai is really amazing.
I think it's a good match.
I agree. If Asakura Kai evades capture and continues honing his boxing skills, he might be able to defeat his opponent with swift punches. Their fighting styles seem compatible, giving Asakura a chance at victory. His reputation is really going up. Right now, he's probably the hottest young fighter, maybe even the youngest. I'm unsure, but at just 22 years old, born after 2000, he's really young. I've watched him fight before. I realize he's younger than me. I predict his ranking will keep improving significantly. Yes.
14 people.
I wonder if they went in or not.
But
That's a whole new level. While not all Japanese players surround Taku-san, it's enjoyable. Takata Haruto's matches are also anticipated. I think it's already been decided, but yes, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to it. Is it really the first time there are players who seem like they know each other, but there are also players who don't know each other at all? Isn't that kind of unusual, historically speaking, right? Yeah, that's what makes it interesting, I think. That's probably why it's getting so much attention now. The depth or thickness of this layer has significantly increased over the last year or two, originating from a specific point.
I really feel it.
I think everyone is feeling it.
I think so.
Overcoming that wall is the fun part, isn't it? It's great when someone who was eliminated comes back, gets another chance, and wins. Those stories are the best, don't you think? Haruto Hirata is the closest.
That's right now.
That's right.
Up until now, it's been just back and forth, back and forth. But with that match, things changed, and I wonder if it will continue like this or if it will change again. I really don't know. I'm excited to see if he can break through and move forward, or if there will be other interesting developments. I'm really looking forward to it. I also hope Wakamatsu-san, who was very vocal in the previous match, gets in there too. That would be great. I believe that's how it should be, and that's what makes it intriguing.
If that happens, it would be great.
I was amazed by the winner's versatility in that short match. They showcased 4 techniques, including tackle, takedown, and defense, making me realize the potential to excel in this sport. His striking strength was clearly amazing, but to win in that manner...
That's what I thought, honestly.
That's right. Going all the way to C or ignoring the level difference is probably not possible due to various contracts and other factors involved.
That's right.
That's not it. That's not it. This time, I also wanted to see how Wakatsumatsu-san would do against foreign players. So rather than just trying to finish it quickly, I wanted to see him go all out and really challenge himself. I wanted to see him have the courage to go up against stronger opponents and attack them. I want to see how he will take on these strong players from now on. Rather than just defending the belt, I want to see him challenge himself, keep challenging, and keep that attitude. I think that would be really interesting.
Yes.
I think it's really interesting in terms of style, especially that striking.
I'm not gonna fight.
I'll be careful. That's not something you can just knock down with a regular attack, right? I'm pretty sure it's not that easy, and it doesn't look that big either. So could you please be careful?
Could you please do that for me? Hey, I don't really get it, but I want to see it.
If you could do it in Decimina's voice, I'd say it straight up. Isn't it kick, man? Kick. Recently, they're strong, right? With kickboxing at the center, even from the A team, there were only around 3 matches in the Japan tournament. Maybe less. I don't really know. One's a flanker, a top class ranking. I don't really know, but I think I could go up against someone like Wakamatsu.
Maybe. No.
No? Are you Japanese or something, Mr. Wada?
And
it could be that they aren't a practice partner or simply how things ended up. I'm totally lost, you know? That's right, you know? I guess that's just how it is with A.
I think the UFC will still be interesting, even if it comes next week. That's right.
But I think the opponent is also a little lacking, so Daiki Sakamoto.
I'm also a newcomer.
He's also strong, but I think the C side is more important and interesting.
So, Champy,
I really want to see how it will turn out. Honestly, I really want to see it. It's not something we can decide.
that's all.
Dotada's unique fighting style. As a fan,
I want to see it.
Yoneroiro, it's fun. Suneyashin, I'm a little worried because I suddenly feel like I'm not myself and my heart might break.